Alright. I got the phone in the hat now. So I printed the 3 pieces. I played around with these 2 pieces while this one was printing. I like how they interact, but there is a small problem. Right now it's locked in at the 1 tablespoon position. I think that problem is fairly obvious to spot. Ooh, I don't like what that noise was. I'm gonna take the leveler and see if I can get that in. If I can get it in, then that's good, but if I can't, then I have to redesign it. And it looks like I can't. Can I bend it outward slightly? What? This side's in. This side looks like it wants to go in. I just need to... Oh, I cracked it. Okay, that's fine because I was going to need to reprint this anyways, but if I'm going to have to crack it, then I'm going to have to redesign the leveler to be easier to put on to the thing. The problem with the leveler right now is probably that I don't have... Let me see if I can get it off of the other side real quick. I can't get it off of the other side. Okay. Problem is that these little lips... Stupid camera will not focus. The little lips here are too long. They go all the way underneath this edge instead of just enough to stay on. So I can't deform it enough. But can I get it on anyways? It's cracked, so I might as well just push it in. I don't know how well the leveler is going to work because I haven't tested it yet. No, that's not going to work over there. What about this side? If I just force it on, can I just force it down? Not really, no. Stupid thing. Let me see the part that cracked. Should be able to push that in enough to get the leveler out of it, except that the space there just doesn't want it. I really ought to be able to twist it, otherwise it won't be able to go in. That's how I was able to do it on this one. Right? Because now it's on this side. I can't twist it to get it in on this side. So what I'm gonna do is, just to make sure that the leveler is tall enough, is I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the legs here. I'll cut off one leg actually. there. And then put the leveler on, right? Now I'll be able to move it back and forth. Now the front is loose and the back is tight. I'm just moving it back and forth to loosen it up, just so I can more easily use it. Okay, now I'm going to take the spacer, put that in. I do like the interaction between the spacer and the little clipping mechanism here, so I can move it easily enough, right? And feel the click when I'm at the desired volume. So I do like that. That's staying. I might keep this as is. But now what I'm gonna do is I've got it at a half a tablespoon. I'm gonna go ahead and take the baking powder and just measure out half a tablespoon of baking powder. Now I can do this, right? But then with this one, there's that extra on the top. So let me just make sure the leveler works, and the leveler is good. And I've already calculated that these add a negligible amount to the actual volume. It's like 2.5% of a quarter teaspoon. So these holes here won't really change too much. Except for that was something I needed to test. How will it interact with? Quite nicely, actually. That's good. And I can always wash them out when it's time to wash them out. For the quarter teaspoon, however, let's put this back in. It's gonna go all the way down, right? There's the quarter teaspoon. The plan would be to only ever put it into the ingredient enough that only one of those would get covered, but it is possible for 2 of them to get covered, or 3 of them to get covered. So 2.5% times 3 is 7.5%, which is no longer statistically negligible, but it's also small enough that it doesn't particularly matter to most recipes, I think. So I think it's fine. Plus it's not all coming out anyways. So the volume, I gotta test the volume, make sure it's the same, make sure it's correct, but the spacer, I think I'm gonna keep this spacer. I don't need to print another one. This is fine. The design here is fine. The leveler appears to mostly work. I'm gonna go back down to the quarter teaspoon, which is the very first click right there. So that's the quarter teaspoon. Okay. So I need to see what I need to see is the net leveler tall enough? Because the baking powder is a special case, right? Because it has its own little flat edge. So I need to make sure that something like this, I might have to go back and forth a couple times with this particular height of leveler. also it has decided it doesn't want to work, doesn't want to move. I could also grab it like this instead of like this, or like this, because I need to twist it. But yeah, so, and then another thing I can do, I can cover up that hole so that nothing comes out when I need to measure. So the holes here aren't a big deal in terms of changing the volume of the measurements. So that's pretty good. I like the idea of the leveler. It still should be a little bit taller. I wish it could be shorter. Maybe I should make it scoop shaped. I need to make this particular edge longer, this wall here. But the mechanism works fine. The size of the things, if they're good, the size of the hole gaps is fine. Right? The spacer is fine. I need to redesign the interaction between the leveler and the actual spoon part, and I need to make the spoon longer. So yeah, I'm getting closer to the finalized design, and I'm getting there probably a little bit quicker than the measuring cup, but that's because I have the measuring cup to work off of. So essentially, this is like a continuation of the measuring cup project, but a smaller version, because I need a spoon to match the measuring cup, and the measuring cup is already usable, even though I would prefer if it was a little more easy to use. Like, this is very easy to use compared to the measuring cup. So I might actually, after this project, redo the measuring cup, but I might not either, because the measuring cup is big and takes forever. So yeah, I need to redo the leveler slightly and make this longer, and I should be getting pretty close to the end of this project. So that's that.